All right, let's move on. I am proclaiming the death of Twitter. I am here right now. Twitter is dead. Hot town, summer in the city, back of my neck feeling dirty and gritty as we start recording episode number 157 of the Promo Upfront podcast. I am one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, let's call him the youth minister of Yeezy, the one and only Dr. Kirby Hassman. Kirby, how the hell are you today?
Oh, I'm doing well, man. We are officially into the dog days of summer. The weather's finally warmed up here in Ohio. It's not that it was bad, but it's really, really warm here, and I love that. You know that I love that, and so things are good, man. How are you?
I'm good. It is hot here. It is summer here. We have had a ridiculous amount of humidity recently, which usually we get in August. We've had it here in June and July, and honestly, the air just cannot hold all that moisture. So we've had some super rowdy thunderstorms blow through a lot of afternoons, blowing things around, blowing shutters off the house and things like that. But honestly, yeah, it's okay. But like I said, you said it's summer, it's hot. And it got me to thinking, Kirby, as things often do. I don't know about you, but when I'm hot, there's no better way to cool off in summer than a dip in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
But when you're done, Kirby, there's something you got to do. You got to dry off. You need something to dry you off, which is why I'm thrilled our friends at Kanata Towel are sponsoring this fine broadcast today. Now, they have a whole bunch of really great towels. Now, my personal favorite, though, especially from a branding perspective, is the Epicolor line of towels that have that cool edge-to-edge sublimation. It means you can take even the most complex graphic or picture and put it right on the beach towel. And you know how I feel about towels, Kirby. And I think you feel the same way.
Yeah.
Best value imprint in the industry because nobody ever throws away a beach towel. We've got beach towels from 15, 20 years. I'm sure everybody listening does the same. But if that weren't good enough, Kirby, and by golly, it is, how about this? No minimums and no setup charges. That's right. I don't know about you, but don't you love how those fully sublimated towels from Kanata look and feel?
Yeah, no, I am a big fan. That's one of the big enhancements, I think. Beach towels have always been an awesome gift. It had a high perceived value, a giant imprint area, but the level of beauty that you can get with the decoration now has just been amazing. It makes them off the charts.
It really is. It really is. And I couldn't have said it better myself, Kirby. To see the magic of the Epicolor fully sublimated beach towel and all the amazing towels that Kanata offers, head over to kanatatowel.com. Plus, if you're going to be in Chicago for the ASI show later this month, why don't you stop by booth 331? You'll see Kirk Russell there, a couple of the other folks from Kanata there, and you can touch and feel the comfort Kanata brings to the table. All right, Kirby. So we are at episode number 157. Made it this far. Let's see if we can go to 158. So let's get through this podcast. I've got the upfront section. I don't know about you, Kirby, if you knew this, but Kanye West and Dove Charney are having an apparel love child. Kanye West has tapped Dove Charney to be the CEO of Yeezy. Are you familiar with this story, Kirby?
I have only read the headline. Honest to God, I thought it was like a joke. So sure, fill me in on the details because I couldn't do anything but roll my eyes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a joke. I'm just not sure I get the punchline. So apparently those two ding-dongs have worked together in the past. LA Magazine is reporting that some of their collaborations included LA Apparel printing certain controversial t-shirts for Yee. I believe that was the White Lives Matter t-shirt they're referencing.
Okay.
I think we know the past of Dove Charney, so many sexual harassment lawsuits back when he was running American Apparel. Same thing has happened at LA Apparel. Kanye West, or Yee as he is known, certainly no stranger to controversy, as our friends across the pond might say. So I want to know, because he has all those anti-Semitic rants and things like that. So I want to ask you, Kirby, is this a match made in heaven or is it a match made in hell?
It is. I mean, I'm not often speechless, but when I saw this, I think I saw Danny Rosen say that he thought it was an Onion headline because it just
Mhm.
seems so out there. Now, I think at the end of the day, one of the mistakes I think I see people making is they think marketing is all about shock value. You hear the concept that there's no such thing as bad press. And I just think
Right.
that's bullshit. I do not believe that at all. And so the idea that, yes, this makes for a headline, yes, that makes for a conversation, but the idea that two people who, and I know neither of these people personally, but they seemingly have a
Yeah.
history of making incredibly poor decisions over and over again, especially when it comes to dealing with females, quite honestly. I, the this just seems like a catastrophic idea to me.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't have made a worse choice to run Yeezy, in my opinion. You have two very headstrong, they're leaders, whether you like them or not. They lead organizations.
Yeah, sure.
I don't see them holding hands and singing "Kumbaya." I see a lot of friction and not the good creative kind that results in innovation. I see friction that is going to burn the house down even further.
Wow.
Honestly, I thought the Yeezy brand was dead with all the anti-Semitic stuff from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised it's even still around. I know Adidas dumped them,
Yeah.
all that. So I honestly, I think this is it's exactly what you said. It's marketing shock value for shock value's sake. I'm not sure he's actually going to be CEO. It's coming out that certainly Yee is having Dove included on important decisions. By the way, what two goofball names are those? Anyway, so I think this is kind of it's going to make a big splash, and which
Yeah.
is what they want,
Yeah.
and then it's going to fade into nothing. I don't see anything really happening here.
Well,
And
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 again,
and a great comment by Danny, by the way, that it does feel like an Onion
yeah.
headline.
Well, and I think at the end of the day, I'm not their target market, right? So the idea that I don't think it's a good idea, maybe they don't care about that. I'm sure they don't care about my opinion, but maybe there is a market there that would think this is a match made in heaven. I just, man, it is too combustible. And after a while, what is that quote that they say that after somebody shows you over and over again who they are, believe them?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
these folks have
Yeah.
shown me over and over again who they are. And they make it so that I just don't want to be associated in any possible way.
Right. And I wonder, if we're making a bigger deal about it in our industry because of Dove. I don't think he's that well known outside our industry.
Fair,
So
fair.
it'll be very interesting. And then what you said was absolutely perfect. When people show you again who they are over and over again, believe them. I think we've both had those type of experience, with people in the industry and out of the industry. So that's a great example for those two. So
Cool.
good luck to whatever you guys are doing. But hey, distributors, I've got a question for you. That's right. Is your marketing working? If you can't answer that question with an immediate, absolutely it is. Fake laughter. You need to reach out to our pals over at Promo Pulse. They can help you consistently amplify your sales through stunningly beautiful outbound marketing. That's so easy, Kirby. You can customize it, you can set it, and then all you have to do is forget about it. You can do that in 5 minutes. That's
Yep.
right. Learn more at promopulse.io/amp. All right, Kirby, please tell me you have a non-Yeezy topic for us to discuss.
Yeah. Okay. So I've actually got a couple that I want to get to, so we can make a couple of these quick if you
Okay.
want.
I
So
will make them quick.
yeah, the Federal Aviation Administration confirmed this week that it's given California startup Aleph Aeronautics, I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, essentially the green light to start testing an electric flying car, making it
Mhm.
the first approval of its kind. The Aleph's Model A vehicle, which can take off and land vertically and drive on a road at low speeds, now has legal clearance to fly. The $300,000 car has already opened for pre-orders, with like $250 million of pre-orders already. So looks like it's $300,000. So I've got two questions. Number one, good idea. Number two, are you running out and putting in a pre-order?
Number two, I'll start with number two, then go back to number one. And no, I'm not, because I don't have that kind of mad cheddar, yo. So no, I'm not. Number one, though, I think it's an idea. Good, bad, I don't know. I mean, I think we've all been fascinated with the thought of flying cars since the Jetsons.
The Jetsons.
And so, I think a lot of us thought we'd be here by now, right?
Yeah.
That we'd be at flying cars. I'd like to know more about it. My first thought is not that I believe me, I'm the last guy that likes government regulation, but how high can they fly? How do they make sure they're not hitting each other? Are there sky roads? How does this work? I'm fascinated by it. I think this is a future mode of transportation, and what a fantastic way to not deal with traffic. But how is that going to work if I'm here in Franklin, Tennessee? I get in my hover car, whatever they call it. I fly to downtown Nashville. How do I find a parking spot while other people are driving? How many accidents is this thing going to cause by people just rubbernecking? I love the idea, want to know more about it, but I think it's an interesting way to maybe ease some congestion on the road, especially in larger cities.
Yeah, I think it's, again, this is the kind of thing that we've, especially, of our age, Bill, that we've been talking about the flying cars. The idea that they didn't call it the Jetson or the Elroy, I think, is a big missed opportunity.
Right.
But yeah, especially because, the folks who are going to buy it are going to get that reference, I think, many
Absolutely.
times. But yeah, this is one of those things that I think we're such at the beginning stages. There's so much more to know, but at the end of the day, this is one that is marketing for shock value that I just think is super cool. Yeah. So I'm all in on it. So there you go.
Okay. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, that was a quick one. All right, let's move on. I am proclaiming the death of Twitter. I am here right now. Twitter is dead. That's right. This came out last week, Kirby. Interesting to me, and maybe all four of our listeners, or five of them. I think 5 or 10 was the last count I got.
Yeah.
Limiting the amount of tweets a user can read. So if you're a verified Twitter account, which means you pay for Twitter Blue at $8 a month or whatever the hell it is, you get to read 6,000 tweets a day. They since raised that to 10,000 because people got all upset. If you're not verified, which most of us aren't, we're not customers of Twitter, you can read 600 tweets a day, and they've raised that to 1,000. So Elon Musk, another weird visionary, said this: new constraints are an essential tool to curb extreme levels of data scraping from several hundred organizations and system manipulation. Now, the new Twitter CEO, Linda Yaccarino, is on board, saying that when you have a mission like Twitter, you need to make big moves to keep strengthening the platform. This work is meaningful and ongoing. Interesting that this happens right as Meta, via Instagram, introduced Threads, which is like this new playground. It's basically Twitter, a clean Twitter, until we all muck it up, because we always do. So that just launched as we recorded this. That launched on Wednesday, the 5th. So Kirby, I want your thoughts on this. What do you think? Is Twitter dead? Am I wrong? I'm proclaiming it dead. I'm telling you right now, it's dead.
It is. Yeah, I think it's tough to say dead, because people are still utilizing the platform. Dude, it is on a death march, though, and I'll tell you, it's funny that you said Twitter's dead. When you went down this road, the idea of limiting the number of tweets you could read and all that stuff, I thought, well, that's just another dumb thing. That's not the reason that Twitter's dead. Twitter's dead because of Threads. Like last night, I think you were on. I immediately downloaded the platform. I agree with it. Was delightful. It was so fun to essentially get Twitter in the early stages, this Threads, where it was people who were exploring. It was like this little community of people who were like, well, how do you post a link, and can you upload things organically? And literally I was watching it happen in real time. I am not a person to play on a platform for very long. I generally go in, post what I have to post, check in on notifications, maybe engage a little bit, and then I get off. I do that on purpose. I sat on Threads last night for an hour and a half because the vibe was really cool. I really enjoyed it. The reason Twitter is dead or on death's door is because of Threads, in my opinion, because I'm like they've created a platform that is essentially the version of Twitter without
we all want.
Elon in the way. So that's my
Well,
take.
and I think they've been marching. Twitter has been marching toward this end game since Elon Musk got involved. To be honest with you, I probably was on Twitter more than you.
Yes.
I have seen the manipulation of what I see in terms of what I want to
Mhm.
follow, and that's coming directly from Twitter. The
Yeah.
things I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I don't follow Elon Musk. I don't want to see Elon Musk tweets. I
Yeah.
just don't. I think he's a genius. I also think he's a couple tacos short of a combo platter.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to read his stuff. I think the death knell really was this. They can say we're limiting how many tweets you can read because we're trying to eliminate data scraping and all this other stuff. There's probably some truth to that. There always is. But I also think it's a big giant load of horse shit because I think what they're really trying to do is saying, if you like this platform, you're going to have to pay for it. And I really don't have an issue with that, except you need to be transparent about it.
Yeah.
If you want people to pay for it, just say, hey, we're limiting tweets until you're a customer. That's fine.
Yeah.
But what I've really got the issue with is if, again, what have we always said? If you're not paying for a platform, you are the data. That's the payment. You are the product, right? The thing that really occurred to me was I use Twitter a lot as a platform of public service. So I mentioned early in the podcast, we've had a lot of severe weather lately in Nashville.
Yeah.
And there is a Twitter account that called Nashville Severe Weather RX. And it's really cool because they'll update things. They'll show you models and things like that. Hey, one for shelter. This line's coming. Here's when it's great for things like that.
Yep.
If I've hit my daily limit of 1,000, I can't see that. So you're unintentionally, I don't think it's intentional, unintentionally, perhaps endangering the public because it has always been that platform has always been a great source of news, but I think Threads is that final nail in the coffin. Twitter's going to limp along for a while. If you haven't gotten on Threads, it is the most seamless, easy way to get on. They integrate your data from Instagram right on there. You could follow everybody you follow on Instagram. I mean, it was magically easy to do.
It really was.
I am giving Twitter the last rites.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of truth to that one, brother. That was fun because
All
I
right,
knew I knew we'd be talking about Threads because I was like, I want to be early on that platform, and I had fun with it last night. It was good.
Well, and my thing is, anytime there's a new platform, I try to get on it just to claim my name, whether I'm going to use it or not. I want to claim my name. Like I'm on the waiting list for Blue Sky. I don't even know what it is, but I want to claim my name. It's important. I did it when it did all the brand new email platforms rolled out. So it's just one of those things I think is a good habit to get into.
Cool. All right. Let's jump to another kind of quickie topic. I read this morning and I just thought it was interesting. So Japan Airlines wants you to never again feel the agony of zipping a bursting at the seams suitcase and lugging it to the airport. Okay. So yesterday the airline debuted its Anywhere. So anywhere, the first one is spelled where, WEAR. It's a service that allows passengers to rent and receive clothes upon arrival in Japan. Yeah. So you won't have to bring as much. And the idea behind it is what they're saying is they're offering it as a study to see if it will encourage folks to pack lighter, allowing its planes to burn less greenhouse gas spewing fuel. Plus, it seeks to reduce clothing waste and all that sort of thing too. So I have some thoughts about this idea, and I know I'm just throwing it on you. But the idea of a big, long, that's a big, long trip for many of us. What do you think about the idea of an airline offering this type of service?
I love the idea, but it's doomed to failure. And I'll tell you why. People are so many different shapes and sizes. The thought of having to, are the clothes going to fit? Am I going to look good in them? Am I going to feel comfortable in them? I think there's too many of those type of variables for it to work. Now, something I've actually considered, like for Vegas and things like that, is shipping my luggage a day or two in advance and then shipping it back. I think that might be an interesting service for JAL to do. Maybe run playing. I mean, now I'm overcomplicating their solution. So we won't even go down that road. I was gonna say, basically take just luggage there and back. But to your point, I love the idea. I would not take advantage of it because I know how I'm wired. I would be so stressed until I got the clothes I was renting um uh on and I felt like they fit. I think clothes are too personal. I think of like
Mm,
online shopping.
yeah.
If I'm getting shaving cream online, I know what that is. If
Yeah.
I'm getting a shirt online or pants online or underwear online or whatever, I'm always like, is that going to fit? Because I mean, I can get the same size T-shirt from the same
Mm,
manufacturer and it wear three of them, and all three of them fit differently.
mm,
So
yeah.
I don't see it working on that level, but I love the idea, and I think it's cool they're trying it. I'd be very curious to see how many people take them up on it.
Yeah. I think all of your concerns are legit. That being said, I think it's brilliant on a couple ways.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah. So, because I think you're right that there are people like you who would really stress about that. But then I think there are people like me who'd be like, okay, so in other words, I don't have to take sweatpants. I don't have to take like very
Right.
specific things that are just kind of one size fits all that will be less stuff I have to think. Okay, I'm not going to take workout clothes. Workout clothes I can or whatever. I could get a segment of things that would allow me to pack lighter. Um, and then the other piece is just from a business perspective, I am fascinated when there's an opportunity to create service for uh, what feels like an obvious need. I'll give you an
Right.
example. Like Amy and I, we've talked a little bit on this podcast. We do midterm rentals for people where they come in and they're
Mhm.
coming in for 12 weeks to Coshocton to stay in one of our places. And one of the things that we've played around with is the idea of saying, hey, if you're coming in for that and you want your fridge to be full, we'll go do shopping for you. So when you roll in, you don't have to
Right.
go to the store. To me,
Right.
this now I know that you're saying milk is milk, beer is beer. It doesn't have to fit. I totally hear that. That's why I said it was legit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anytime, to your point, that you can remove friction and add a service,
Agreed.
I think it could be. I think this could be really interesting. And for what
I
it's worth, just real
Yeah.
quick,
Yeah, please.
travelers assemble their Japan trip wardrobe online by
Hmm.
choosing up to 8 sets of business or business casual clothes for $28 to $49 each, just
Yeah.
for what that's worth. And it's delivered to the hotel where they can pick them up. So
Yeah.
that's a little more details for what.
I think the idea, like you said, is a brilliant one. I love the idea,
Yeah.
but we are not a one size fits
Yeah.
all
Yep.
society. That to me, the amount of clothes they're going to have,
Yeah.
and
That's
then
fair.
the amount of returns, these don't fit, these fit. I think it's doomed to failure because I just don't think enough people will take them up on it. And then the people that do, it's going to be like I'm spending half my day unpacking
Yeah.
or trying this on, trying that on instead of unpacking. But I think I do again. That doesn't mean they shouldn't try it.
Yeah.
Don't listen to me.
No, it's a good
Don't listen to me
concept.
at
Yeah.
all. Yeah, I think it's a great concept. I think it's brilliant. I just don't see it working, at least not in our country where we're all a little doughy.
Love it.
Is there
Cool.
any other topics you want to do you want to do another quick one? I don't have anything.
I
I'm
do.
out. I'm tapped
I,
out. Oh,
like I
go.
said, I had a bunch of quick ones. So I got
Awesome.
one more.
Go.
So again, I'm going to read this. Taking an idea that has emerged from many stoner basements, one Australian entrepreneur wants to remake the Olympics, but with drugs. He's calling it
Okay.
the Enhanced Games.
Okay.
And so they are wanting to provide a legal way um, so that athletes can utilize all the performance enhancing drugs that they
Hmm.
can to enhance their
Right.
performance. So
Sure.
it says the event will include 5 categories: track and field, swimming, weightlifting, gymnastics, and combat sports. Um, yeah, the event's website accuses traditional athletics of being anti-science and shaming enhanced athletes. So really quickly, the enhanced games. What do you
Yeah.
think, man? Are you gonna try and be a part of it, and B, would you watch?
I
And
think we're already
by the way,
watching the.
yeah, you lie if you say you're not gonna watch.
Oh, I'd watch, but I mean, just out of pure, same reason I used to watch American Gladiators. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I, it's For some reason, my Alexa is just going bananas in here. Sorry. We're already watching the enhanced games because I think most of the athletes, and maybe that's unfair, are using some performance enhancing drugs in the Olympics, and I think that's kind of what we're talking about here, the Olympics. So I'd rather see an actual clean Olympics. Now that would actually interest me more if there was a clean, that was pristine, real, just athletes being athletes. And I'm not saying we've ever had that, because I think there were performance enhancing stuff in 1908. Whether it was people, taking, chewing on whatever leaves or whatever, doesn't matter. So I'm fascinated. I think where they're making the mistake is that what you said at the end there, that what did you read? What you said at the end, that they were saying that the traditional games are what? Say that again.
They are being anti-science and
Okay.
shaming enhanced athletes.
Yeah, I think you're going a bit far. I don't think they're anti-science, nor do I think they're shaming people. I think that's ridiculous. To me, that's just marketing gobbledygook and designed to make two yuck monkeys like us talk about it. I'd watch it, but honestly, to me, it's just like I don't need another sporting event at all. I think we're full. I'm full of sporting events now. We're done. We're done.
Okay.
What about you?
This to me is funny fodder. The irony behind this is I think you're more likely to watch this than me. There is no way I am watching combat sports with two roided up dudes. Like that sounds like the worst idea. And again, I think it's funny. I think it's an interesting conversation, but yeah, I don't see it being a big thing. But who knows?
Like I said, I don't care about roided up swimmers or roided up weightlifters. I assume they're already roided up anyway. Get me some American Gladiator stuff. Now you're cooking with gas. Now you're doing something that's piping hot. But you know what happens when it's piping hot, Kirby? You got to cool off. You got to get in that pool. And when you get out of that pool, you got to dry off. And there is no better way to dry off than with a Kanata towel. That's right. And we're talking today about that great Epicolor edge-to-edge sublimation. You can take any picture you want, any complex graphic you want, edge-to-edge sublimation, ginormous imprint area. You talk about a traveling billboard. People are going to see that for, I don't want to say miles. I haven't done the research, but possibly miles away, they're going to see that. And at a great cost point. Great cost effectiveness. So you want to learn more about that Epicolor edge-to-edge sublimation, head over to KanataTowel.com. And again, if you're going to be in Chicago later this month for the ASI show, stop by booth number 331, see our pal Kirk Russell and all the fine folks over there at Kanata. They'll show you all the new wares that they've got, including that Epicolor beach towel, that sublimated beach towel. Kirby, I want to thank you for having the courage to podcast with me. And I want to thank all 5 and 10 of our listeners for hanging with us today.